And we're live. Howdy, Wrath. Okay. What better way to spend a Friday than to kick back and just play some good old Ocarina of Time? I was about to say watch, but then I realized, wait, no, I'm not watching. I'm the one playing. It's probably the best game of all time, a contender for sure. I don't think I'd go that far. I've certainly cooled on that notion quite a bit in the intervening decades, but it's still a great game. Oh, okay. Oh, I see where this is going. Right. Yeah. Yeah, Gags doesn't fully realize it, but, he'll come around eventually. All right. Recap. Remembering what all fucking hell I've collected up to this point, right? Got 2 of the gems. Oh, hey, Sal. Yeah. Okay. 3 out of 4 heart pieces. Like, we're already on, 8 heart containers, 27 Skulltula tokens. Yeah, we got it. Okay. Yeah, we're on track. Speaking personally, it's probably up there for me, but I don't write down lists. Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't do lists either, because that implies, I have to order them from, 1 to however many long, when it's just nah, I just have, a category of this is the top 100, and that's it. Anyway, on the agenda for tonight, going to Zora's domain and getting their gem. Decided to watch a stream instead of playing more Scarlet Nexus. Well, you picked a good stream for that, I'd say. I mean, how often are you going to come across a stream that can count as both chill and completionist at the same time? Even on Ordered, I've realized I've played so many games, and there's so many games I think are great for different reasons I wouldn't care to do it. That makes sense. I get it. I just did the top 100 that I did anyway because I had all the time on my hand. Anyway, time to skip. Let me skip past this dialogue, you fucking owl. Oh, it's one of those where you can't skip it. Great. Well, at least he doesn't ask if I need to ask for a repeat or anything. Last time I streamed via my PS5 would technically be both chill and completionist. Okay. Yeah. That's a strong combination if you can manage it, because it's you can do absolutely everything there is in a game and feel no pressure about it. Because Ocarina of Time's big for an N64 game, but it sure ain't big like, say, the GameCube Zeldas, or Wind Waker or Twilight Princess and all that other stuff where it just gets tedious after a while, you know? With no commentary, and just play through Mad Max. Okay. Actually gonna quickly double check this to make sure if there was a Skulltula token. Yeah. Yeah, Mad Max is okay, the game, but, it's something where, I don't begrudge anyone that, that, plays all the way through it, because, it's got, some charm to it. It's the sort of thing where, it's just alright enough that, yeah, if it's got the things you're into, of course you'd play through it and get something out of it. Alright. Time to buy some beans from this asshole. And I am going to buy every single bean he has before we even get to the to Zora's domain. The dude's trying to sell these beans while he's simultaneously eating them. So I was getting tired of forming, but not too tired I wouldn't play through it for Mad Max. So, yeah. Honestly, I think last type of open world game in general I played was like PS4 Spider-Man. And I was into that just for purely for like just the a lot of it being just the joy of controlling Spider-Man himself, you know? Yeah, these beads are becoming all the rage. I'm your only fucking customer. Yeah. Okay, yeah, at least you acknowledge it's arbitrary, because otherwise, like, yeah, Spider-Man does have, like, a lot of the trappings behind it. It's just the main difference is, like, because of you being Spider-Man and swinging around, it's inherently a faster movement system than a lot of open world games allow for, even compared to ones where it's like you have a vehicle, you know? Okay, but right now I just need to get. Oh wait, it's not a hole. Maybe playing this will like cause something to spawn, because there's a secret in the stone circle. No? Man, you know, I'll give credit to Ocarina of Time, like genuine credit, for one thing in particular. And that is the fact that, like, in all the times that, like, I have continued to play this game over the 2 decades plus, like, I still don't know where every single, like, hidden, like, grotto or, like, interactable that requires, like, the ocarina or all that stuff. Like the really tertiary, like, unimportant, out of the way secrets that this game has. You just like just can't possibly keep track of all of it, and the only time you actually get any sense of like that there's a secret nearby is if you're playing with the Rumble Pack in your N64 controller and you got the Stone of Agony. All right. Actually, now that I think about it, since like the next price since like the current price for the beads are supposed to be 60, I should actually. It's obviously early 3D in both a way that's obvious and deep, but also if it's time. Yeah. I think this is it. Oh, just the edge of the explosion. Oh, fuck. Yeah, actually, you know what? Like, at least I know that that's here, but I should just get my rupees topped off to 60, buy buy the next magic bean so that, like, uh, I don't want to talk to you. Yeah, just so I'm broke, because like in that hole, if I defeat those two redeads, uh, I'll get access to a chest that has a gold rupee, which I believe is worth 200. So I could just buy a whole lot more. I think it's an underrated way for why it holds up better than a lot of the latter Zeldas in the formula. Yeah, it's like, yeah, because I mean, like, obviously he's not here right now. He's probably getting ready to like play not Dino EDF with his boys right now or something, fucking Exoprimal Beta. But it might as well say, just because we all know who we're talking about with Gags and how like he's far more critical of like the 3D Zelda games, not particularly liking them compared to the 2D ones or Breath of the Wild. And it's like, yeah, even with like the valid criticisms that you can absolutely levy towards like the GameCube Wii era of like 3D Zelda, I'm gonna say, like like as you point out, there is enough of like that openness that still remains here in Ocarina of Time, combined with like as well with the pacing, where yeah, there's a lot more guiding you at the beginning, but not so much that like it feels like the most railroady thing like possible. You know, you're not being delayed from getting into like the first dungeon for over 2 hours like in Twilight Princess. It's like, no, you boot up Ocarina of Time like for a fresh game, and it's like if you know where the sword is and you know like how many rupees you need to get the shield, you can get all of that stuff knocked out in 10 minutes and be in the first dungeon right away. Like that's all there is to it. And then of course there's like the matter of Majora's Mask, which like, dude, holy shit, are you seriously repeating the exact same? Oh my god, no. Oh, this is hell. Oh, fuck this. Fuck you, Owl. Yeah, and we were all talking about like good pacing in these games that like just later Zelda games completely neglected. Yeah, clearly some sort of consideration for people who get lost. Yeah. Which definitely feels like it's both early 3D but also like Nintendo in general. Like outside of like certain types of games where I think like they have the idea of just figuring things out as their intended audience, like most of their games, if they can help it, they're gonna like just try and like make sure that no one is going to like get lost or be unable to figure out like how to actually succeed at the game or something. Which obviously like as much as there were like the games of theirs that they put out on the Wii, I still enjoy. I cannot deny like the overcompensating for player stupidity just being like a problem with how much they're just like hand holding and like overly explaining how it's supposed to be played. At least there's room to get lost, yeah. Although I'll admit, out barring taking on the water temple for the first time, I can't really think of much situations in this game where it would be possible to get lost. I think like the better quality of Ocarina of Time is more the fact that it's like, because obviously what I explained at the start was like with the pacing leading up to taking on the first dungeon, but it's like after the first dungeon, you know, they have the intended pathway that they expect you to go, you know, like to Hyrule Castle, like, and then stop by all these other places like Lost Woods, Lon Lon Ranch, and all that stuff. But it's like you could still go to like all kinds of other spots in the meantime while you can. I mean, you could even stop by Gerudo Valley to pick up a couple heart pieces and gold Skulltulas if you want. Or go into like a specific grave in the Kakariko graveyard and get like a free Hylian shield without ever having to buy one. Yeah. And with Majora's Mask going for like something even weirder and crazier, it still retains a lot of that feeling of openness, even if yes, I could buy the argument that like the more 2D games before it like were like a lot more open as far as just like how you could approach things. Like one thing for sure, the N64 games absolutely got like this idea right. And I like it enough, you know, with both this game and especially Majora's where, you know, the big open world like free exploration that you have in like Breath of the Wild and now like Tears of the Kingdom, that being the new model, I really do. I would not mind still like having more attempts at like this particular type of 3D adventure. Yep. Yeah, I can absolutely 100% agree with that. The total inversion is admittedly one that I like more, but it absolutely works because it had Ocarina to already like establish it. Okay. Now let's walk through and have to listen to this fucking owl for a third time, and hopefully the last, because I think these next two beans that I buy from the merchant are just going to be the last ones. Half measure, sometimes rushed, good overall, but clearly have some identity issues. Yeah. Yeah, like, and like, nothing leaves me more conflicted than how I feel about like Skyward Sword, where I ultimately like it more than those than like Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, even though like the problems that it has I totally recognize as problems, but they weirdly enough do not bother me to quite the same degree that it does for like a lot of people. Yeah. Yeah, and it's like God, what was it? I think it was in my off time like almost 2 years ago, actually, funny enough. I think I did like a full 100% playthrough of Wind Waker for I think the first time since I was a kid, like back when the GameCube was current, actually. And it shows how much I had forgotten what that experience was like back then, because man, like as beautiful as it is, when you realize the tedium of just sailing the Great Sea, going to every single island and every single treasure spot to get what you need it is so draining compared to how it is in something like Ocarina, where it's like I like getting all this gold Skulltula tokens, for instance, does not feel nearly as arduous. Yeah. The other thing with Twilight Princess I would actually add on top of that is just the feeling of immense uninspired like creativity is the idea. Because it is, especially with it being designed and revealed the way it was after Wind Waker, you cannot shake the fact that it was like designed more or less as the apology game. You know, for all the quote Zelda haters. You know, because like Skyward Sword may have like some pretty fucked up issues in regards to its pacing, but it's at least got like a lot more for me like unique stuff it still tries to go for that doesn't feel like Ocarina 2.0. Yeah, yeah, definitely. At least Skyward Sword has Groose. Nothing more needs to be said on that. Okay, just gotta get around. Yeah, yeah, I can absolutely see that. Just kind of going for like a completely different design and actually trying to have like some amount of faith and respect in like the player base to like provide something that is just like fine, just do what you want to do and enjoy it. It's just a shame though that it's like I just have zero desire to play Breath of the Wild or like the upcoming game, just because it is like, you know, I don't care if it does the open world aspect in a way that is genuinely like better than like the kind of the standard fare open world stuff. just playing any sort of game that is trying to advertise it's a big world to uncover and explore. And god damn it, I missed the. Yeah, it's just at some point I would rather have like just more large but more contained sandboxes than just like the big open world land masses. Hell, even at this point, I think I'm like made the joke like when I did the first part of like the stream playthrough that like I think the only chance I would have to ever get around to playing Breath of the Wild is like if the Zelda series went on even more years after that point, that it changed design, did like another design shift to something else, and people moved away from that, then I'm like, okay, now I'll just play this game completely devoid of any sort of like outside context or influence from people that might be like trying to like tell me how I should play it or live vicariously through how I play it. Still think you should do it, and the open world problems it's supposed to have are mostly like do internal complaints that say you need to pair one weapon to each enemy. I'm not even talking about like complaints in that regard. It's just more like the kind of fundamental feeling of I am done with open worlds. So with just big game worlds of a particular size, I think is the problem I have. And I mean, like, it's probably no surprise, especially where it's like, you see me talk about all like the games I play anyway, just like all like the paragraphs upon paragraphs of lines that I put into Discord. Reason to think I could sell it to you, though though if I'm allowed on more description, that's true for me. Yeah. Plus, it's like ultimately when it comes to Zelda in general, I have kind of just made peace with the fact that even with like kind of describing myself as like a fan of The Legend of Zelda, I realize it's mostly how the fuck are you still here? I just needed another Kuko, damn it! Fucking God almighty. Oh my fucking lord. This says a lot of the last two Zelda games I played and unironically enjoyed are Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. I mean, if you enjoy it, you enjoy it. Yeah. You know, there's definitely like I would definitely like be rating like those games as being 4 out of 5. Though the way I approach like the whole like kind of 5-star scale as it is when I kind of abbreviate like game aggregate like no fuck what's the word I'm thinking like review the games I guess is like you know I feel like this is a result of like how like Metacritic has more or less poisoned the perception of like what a sort of 5-star TV on GCN is the superior TV. It sure is. I do kind of wish I had thought to like get a copy of that instead of the Wii version all those years ago. But then again, I've kind of stopped caring about like owning physical GameCube games. But yeah, like the whole 5-star thing, like kind of how I look at it, like like if you were to take like a review that operates like on a 5-star scale or something and apply it by like the how Metacritic kind of translate that, you would think that just means like, oh, 5-star clearly means it's perfect and 4 stars is like an 80. But that's not how I view it. It's more like each star occupies a fifth of the 100 scale. So it's like, it would basically be like 5 stars is as high as 100 and as low as 81. Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, and Skyward Sword, I would all rate as 4 out of 5, because they occupy that space of, if it was 100-point scale, then it would be something more along the lines of, it would be as high as an 80 or as low as a 61. And I could tell you, if I had to kind of give my more feelings about how it would compare, like on a 10-point scale or 100-point scale, they would definitely be kind of 6s and 7s for me across the board, those games. Because, see, unlike like most people that do reviews these days, I actually use the full scale. Yeah, gamers shouldn't be trusted with numbers. Skyrim was a game that I didn't like. Yeah, it's like, I don't fault anyone for, like, disliking the game. I do fault people for trying to say that the controls were bad or didn't work or lacked precision. But it's like, they definitely, but like, that game's pacing issues are on another level compared to the rest of the series, or even most games. Okay, finally, after half an hour and getting interrupted by that stupid owl 4 times, we are inside the realm of the Zoras. Oh, fuck. Okay, what do I need to do? Right, yes, a heart piece. Yeah. Something involving, like, lighting torches or some shit. Yeah. Yeah, it made it that, like, a 9 is bad, or if you are, like, butthurt, like, Twilight Princess fans, 8.8 is not good enough. Good ideas, rampant repetition of backtracking, pacing, grand primary existential threat being a giant fuzzy butt plug, drag it down. I mean, that last one I don't see the problem of. I mean, yeah, whatever. There's like some latent erotic energy in that. You see how Girahim like animates in throughout that entire fucking game, how he composes himself. Yeah, it's like Skyward Sword, at the very least. My highlight for it is 100% the characters, because it's like, it's my favorite version of Zelda. Girahim is like a fantastic villain, you know, even though like he's ultimately like the servant for like Demise and bringing him back, like he's still effective as his own thing. And then of course you can't forget Groose. Yeah, yeah. I do. Demise is cool. I do appreciate how his like flame hair and just like his general face and buffness like just makes him come off so more like Zelda's version of Akuma or Oni. Okay. All right, enough wasting time. We got a fish on hand for when we need it. Yeah, yeah, like that game's basically trying to aim for 50 hours when like it has enough content that it could have been satisfying enough at 25. Like when you have to like kind of collect like the notes for the songs in each region, that was absolutely the point where I was like, okay, they are desperately trying to like stretch things in like the worst way, you know? I completely forgot that empty torch was there, and that's what I was supposed to light. Whoops. Okay. Oh, I mean, the flight to well. Oh God, that's right. Yeah. Or even the you remember like the Silence Realm trials as well, like that whole thing. that was one where it's like where like that just felt the most to me like an example of like huge missed opportunities. And this is something that I didn't even realize ultimately like was the case until like well after the fact. Just the idea that those trials could have been significantly more interesting if the idea behind them was that it wasn't just a stealth sequence for like every single silent realm, and the idea is more like they all kind of correlate to like the sort of the three virtues that represent the Triforce, you know, power, wisdom, courage. You know, I mean, like, I would have been down for one of the silent realms in that, just being like, this is the silent realm that is supposed to show you that you have power. Take on an entire gauntlet of enemies nonstop. Go. You know, and like courage by itself just could be like, yeah, this is you having to face your fears against like these super powerful guardians that will one shot you, collect the things, and get back to safety. No, I think it was four actually. Yeah, because the fourth silent realm that you go to is in Skyloft. You know, it's the last one you do right before the final dungeon, which is one of the best dungeons in all the 3D Zelda games ever. Yeah, yeah, exactly. That was like that was absolutely like the last breaking moment that game had. But that was also like moments before you get into the final dungeon and the last stretch in which the game finally decides to just fire on all cylinders. Like it's awesome, and then the return down to the surface where you're going down like the pit in fighting off all of the moblins. There's the Girahim fight, then there's the Demise fight. Like it's a fucking solid, awesome ending stretch with like the pacing issues rearing their head at their worst, like just like literal hours before it. It's such a shame too. I absolutely love the highs of that game. But at the same time, I won't push anyone to play it if they really cannot stand like the pacing and just like the rigidness of that game, not wanting to let you get lost or figure things out on your own. All right, time to go diving. I appreciate them like giving me more rupees than I ended up having to pay for, so this is really a net positive on the transaction. You really did not think this through, Mr. Zora. Like how this discussion highlights what I and you agree on earlier. Ocarina nailed what it was, Majora nailed the inverse. The rest have identity problems. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and as you might imagine with like that lengthy discussion as well, yeah, no shit that I am not going to even bother trying to like stream Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, and Skyward Sword in the future for this channel. The most I am considering going forward is doing a stream of Majora's Mask, which makes sense because I absolutely adore that game. Just my completionist riddled brain would not allow me to settle on just like a minimum playthrough for any of these. Yeah, I'm not Dan Video Games. I'm not the one doing a death stream marathon of every single 2D and 3D Mario game. Or a 35-hour death stream of Ratchet and Clank A Crack in Time just to get the Platinum Trophy. Man. God bless that psycho, him and Bob. But it's also like, man, Not only could I never, but I honestly would not want to try and do the shit you do. I do wish I had the money to afford some of the equipment that they had, though. Because, oh man, I would actually, like, if I had the sort of, like, 3DS, like, kind of capture setup that they had or something, I would absolutely consider the possibility of, like, doing streams of, like, handheld games like DS or whatnot on there. But no. Best I can choose to do for that is emulation. Yeah. Yeah, the streams are fun. Yeah. Certainly. Although though I will admit that, like, when it comes to the Gigaboots contents that I do tend to tune in for these days, it's like, it's basically cursed content and blessed content. Like, that's basically what I'm there for at this point. Like, I came for the, that CRT, like series of videos they were doing where they were just, like, putting their expensive ass video camera in front of a Trinitron and, like, and recording whatever they played on there. But now it's like, now I've moved on to them, like, torturing themselves with shitty movies and indulging themselves in great movies every month. There's a point where I definitely moved away from, like, having, like, paying a monthly subscription to any sort of, like, Patreon or Giant Bomb or anything for years. But Gigaboots brought me back to it. $5 just lets me join in on the fun of voting for them to watch horrible trash like Biodome. I'm not sorry. I don't even watch the movies along with them. I just want to hear, like, their pain suffering. Just appreciate having long streams I can leave on. Yeah, that's fair, yeah. I think for me was just kind of the realization where it is like they have like they have done like fantastic like regular recorded content in the past. Wait, you loved Biodome? What the fuck? Wow. Like I can at least say that, like, from my end, it's like I never watched it when I was a kid or anything. By the time I'd ever heard about it was when people had, like, were talking about, oh, it's so bad. And I saw a couple clips and I'm like, yeah, I can see what they're talking about. You know? But I think just the more amusing part of that was when that was decided for them and they were like, okay, we're going to watch Biodome. Everyone says this is the worst shit ever, but we've watched a lot of stuff that was supposedly bad from the 90s. Maybe this is actually misunderstood. And then afterwards, they completely regretted like their earlier statements. They were like, this was a mistake. This game deserved every amount of shit thrown at it. Just, yeah. We were all stupid 8-year-olds at some point. All right. But yeah, it's just like, yeah, because like I think about, like, because you introduced me to Gigaboots, you know, like no show, like about roughly 2 years ago at this point, when I was talking about like CRT stuff and was experimenting with this kind of like stream overlay that conveyed it, and you pointed me in the direction of their channel, and it was the sort of thing where it's like, yeah, they do good content. It is kind of unfortunate to me that it's like they did ultimately go the route that like a lot of other like major like YouTube channels like creator presences have gone, where it is like, yeah, we just stream more than we do actual recorded content. The irony of that is not lost on me, considering I have basically like most of the videos on my YouTube channel are all stream archives. On the subject of film, the first movie I remember seeing was Alien when you were 4. Jesus. Playing Fusion and solidified an opinion I had. Okay. I'm curious to see how that is, because like I'd say I still have like my particular opinion on Fusion fairly set in stone. I'd be curious to see kind of like what conclusion you came to recently. But yeah, Gigaboot's like earlier, like kind of primarily recorded content was so good. Like I still kind of look back at all like their Castlemania 2019 playlist and just they went all out on recording like 1 hour on average footage of like every major Castlevania game for the entire month. Fusion's good, don't dislike it, but Dread's basically a much better Fusion. Yep, I can totally agree to that. It's the precursor to something that's much more refined. And yeah, just yeah, that's the part that still always like kind of surprised me because it's like the idea that there was ever a desire to remake Fusion somehow. But it's like because you had that proposed, and then there's the fact that the Metroid game that shall not be named that everyone despises having elements of it that feel like it was Sakamoto trying to basically do his redo of Fusion but worse. And it's like this semblance of people just trying to like redo Fusion as if there was something they needed to go back to and like rewrite it to be better, when the solution was more like, no, just make a direct follow-up that does the improvements that you should. And like, yeah, Dread absolutely does that. You know, like it's still got like some story to it. It's got Adam talking to you. It's still focused, but also like open at the same time. The Emmys fill the role that the SAX did, but expanded. Yeah. Yeah, and that's funny enough. That was actually the last thing I was gonna get into was about like the combat, because you saw the makings of it actually becoming good in Fusion compared to Super, where it really did just feel like the only real chance you had to get by was to just tank things. That or take advantage of like weird esoteric ways of defeating bosses like Dragon. You remember the one I'm talking about. The bit where it's like Dragon grabs you and then you use the grapple beam to pull yourself into like an exposed electrical wire and you just electrocute it to death. Which that part's awesome. But everything else is like, yeah, you just stand there, tank hits, and shoot missiles. But like Fusion, you saw like the hints that like, no, they could absolutely improve this to be on the level of, you know, like the classic, like the other 2D shoot 'em up classics out there. And then Dread nails it. It took them like like pretty much 2 decades, but they got it. I think Super's comment's fine because it works for that game, but it isn't the goal clearly. Well, yeah, that's the point. Like the goal ultimately is to just kind of like tank it and just deal out as much firepower as possible. Some stuff you can dodge, but you're not really designed to be able to like do that sort of thing. Yeah, just oh man, just reminding myself of how like there was that period of time like in the months after Dread's release where I was just going on YouTube and specifically looking at like videos of people doing no damage runs on the different bosses, and I was like, God, like, and also getting back to Gigaboots because Dan had a similar sentiment. I want a boss rush mode for this game, and they did it. They did a fucking post game update that was like, yeah, here's a boss rush mode like the Castlevanias. Like, hell yeah. All right, time for the Vor dungeon. I am not sorry for my choice of words, by the way. Okay. Replaying Fusion made the similarities between both obvious and that Dread essentially it's a lot of addressing its criticism, not just those for Samus Returns. Yeah, definitely like the best return to form you could have asked for when it comes to 2D Metroids. Because people may be like, "Oh, Zero Mission was clearly like the peak or something," but it's like, yeah, but it's still the Metroid 1 map. There's only so much you can do as far as like making interesting progression out of a map that is 50% like extremely long horizontal corridors and extremely long vertical shafts. Like, sure, sequence breaking, you could pull that stuff off like out the wazoo. But that's kind of not as important to me as to just like having a really interesting intended route that makes you appreciate the map design by making you go through it in unique and like enjoyable like patterns. Okay. And here's this sassy lost child. Only thing you can do post Dread is make it more open. Yes, something like that. I mean, I could already think of like the one possible thing they could do post Dread, given the current status of like of just the living petri dish of multiple alien DNA that Samus is. Give her a fucking Metroid trigger. DMC has Devil Trigger, and we got Metroid Trigger. Make that with more super influence. Yeah. God, just that moment was so sick. I just like the more I'm just more amused by the silly in-lore implications where like she just has like so many more like bits of like weird alien DNA and substances come in her body, sometimes out of it. You know, because technically Phazon didn't stick around with her after the Prime series. It completely disappeared from the universe. But it's like, yeah, she's got Chozo DNA and Metroid DNA. Still human, technically. Okay. Yeah, you have a good one too, Wrath. I'm gonna do my best to focus now with getting through this dungeon. Yes, I'm not sorry for throwing you, princess. Fuck off. Somehow that okay, that worked. Actually, hold on. I think I need to go back here now that I think about it. Oh my god. Oh, fuck these goddamn jellyfish because I'm trying to like kind of I'm basically trying to like kind of look back at like my sort of walkthrough checklist and make sure that if there's a way for me to like get the like the gold sculpture that's in this room, if I need to get that first or if it's later. And still hanging around but having connection issues, so yay. That's a shame. Okay, no, I'm an idiot. I just realized now what it was I was doing wrong. I wasn't supposed to drop down. Fuck. Okay. That explains what I was getting wrong. Yeah, just all the fun chatting with friends about like about particular Zelda games and whatnot. And video games in general. Alright, fine. We'll go in the other door. Man, kind of forgot how a bit annoying this particular dungeon can be for like the first stretch when you don't have the when you don't have access to like the to the boomerang. Okay. Actually, hold on. Wouldn't hurt to have a second fairy, I'd say. All right. That's good. Okay. Man, such a freaking weird idea for a dungeon of all things. Just having Well, actually, no. I just realized the thing that makes it feel even weirder is that the idea of a dungeon being inside of another being. We already did that at the start of the game, technically. We went inside the Great Deku Tree, but somehow that does not feel anywhere close to being as bizarre compared to... Oh, damn it, I missed it. Yeah, it just does not feel anywhere near as bizarre as it would be, like, inside the belly of like just some weird fish thing where everything is fleshy. Jeez. Just calm down, child. Okay. Now that we're back up to the main floor, let's actually get that boomerang. Please. So we can deal with these enemies proper. Alright. Next things first, gotta deal with these manta rays. God, and even just the fact that it's like, I gotta say, it's like, there is like some impressive shit going on technically with this stage, like with this being on the N64, where they have stuff like the floors and walls undulating, but you also can immediately see so clearly now how, like, what limitations that they had to make do with. The fact that, like, the undulating of the floor, like, has no collision on it. The collider is literally below it, because it probably would have been a nightmare trying to, like, compute that like on like a 64-bit system from the mid 90s. So I like that you can whack a wall and cause them to undulate. There's definitely, like, it's the sort of thing where, I guess, depending on, like, what you're into, you might think the dungeon itself is gross, but you cannot deny the sort of, like, creativity behind it. I mean, to my mind, there really wasn't, like, any other, like, dungeons later in the game that kind of, like, channeled this type of, like, idea of being inside of, like, a creature's body. Okay. Oh yeah, there's also the other thing that can be mentioned as far as, like, it's not just undulates. I presume that the blue bits coming off of it are, like, it's supposed to be Jabu's blood. Yeah, it's a good thing that they did not decide to put, like, some bizarre, like, fail condition for this dungeon where if you damage his insides too much, you cause Jabu to, like, internally bleed to death, and then you fail the game. God, that would be a dick move. Okay. Where's that last bubble? Damn it. There it is. Got it. Oh, wait, no. That was the last bubble. Thought I could get out the door. Not this time. There we go. Dungeon and compass in hand. Not bad. Just running past all the worms. Jabu really needs to get his insights checked. I'm not a doctor. I'm not paid for this. Nice. He's more parasites than the North Korean army. Oh. Oh, that's a good one. Okay. Very nice. Okay. Next up, gotta get the. Gotta go down the correct hole. I think it's this. That was the one that had like the green. Yep. Look at that. Both of them together. Oh, fuck. God damn. Nah, this is the better way to do it. Slingshot both, and then boomerang the tokens. Okay, there we go. That, as far as tokens, puts us at 33. Very nice. And there we go. The escort of this child is over. All right, fine. Oh wait, no, never mind. You get to take it away anyway. Bye. All right, mini boss time. Oh, come on. Okay. Let's just get caught up to this dude's backside, if possible. Okay. Now then. Oh man, I still don't remember exactly how long it takes for him. Like, he spins for until he stops. Eradicate the cloaca. Oh no. Oh fuck. Well, that works too. Not a particularly fun mini boss. I'm gonna say so. And it's not my favorite out of any of these. There we go. Let's keep moving forward. Almost done with this particular dungeon. We're definitely gonna have enough time to like finish this and then take our first steps into the world of adulthood for Link. And I hear the Skulltula. There it is. Done. That's all the ones over here in this dungeon. Puts us at 34. Nailed it. And here we go. Time for the boss. All right. The big ol' electric jellyfish. Actually, wait, no, hold on. I just remembered something that I'll actually need to do after finishing this dungeon. Because we have the boomerang, because we have all, like, the other major things, like the major items of note that you get as Young Link, we definitely should maximize what we can acquire with it before we actually go to the Temple of Time. Ah, damn it. Easy. You heard that as a youngling. I definitely did not mean that. No, sir. I would never want to. I would never want to imply such a thing. Oh, fuck. I'm generally used to this game's camera, but obviously sometimes it can fail me ever so slightly. There. By slightly, you mean Baronade is kicking your ass? Details. Jeez, Baronade is just going nuts. Ah, fuck. There we go. Just, oh my god. Man, thing is, just looking at that these days, I can't help but not think that Baronade just got hit by the DNA Scrambler from Cruelty Squad. There we go. 10 hearts. Hell yeah. Like, seriously, he just, like, his body transforms and explodes into a bunch of fleshy red tumors. Okay. But enough about that. Time to get out of this extremely fleshy dungeon. You've never encountered the cancer pistol that fires teeth from Videodrome. No, I'm familiar with the cancer gun. But I'm just referring more to like more recent examples. Hell, you can like watch the Let's Play I did for Cruelty Squad. I explicitly reference Videodrome, when I get that gun and just like use it on a particular mission. Long live the new flesh, bitch! Just shoot someone and completely scramble their DNA into something unrecognizable. And that was on the episode where me and Kaboom just like made a bunch of John Oliver jokes because that was the name of like our target that we had to go after. What a weird fucking game. I love Cruelty Squad so much. And speaking of Let's Plays, hopefully it will not have to be too long until like I get like my next one underway because I know what it's gonna be. I'm just kind of waiting on it to get like some like a patch or two on PC. Not really for like playability's sake, but more just to guarantee that like when I do go and record it, that like it's gonna be stable and doesn't fuck up anything in the process. Because like I've had it crash like very rarely on occasion. The game is Wanted Dead, by the way. AKA, fuck you, they made a sequel to Devil's Third, and I could not be any more vindicated by that decision. For real, that game's a lot of fun. I don't think I ultimately like it as much as Devil's Third, at least particularly when it comes to certain gameplay, like mechanics decisions. But I sure do like having another game that does that particular blend of like melee and third-person shooting, and have it be just so goddamn fun. There we go. Now, next thing we gotta do, we gotta hunt down some Skulltulas. Now that we have actually have like a boomerang and bombs, obviously. We got basically all the dungeon items, like the major items that we really need as young Link. Okay. Gonna stop by the old bean merchant again. Yeah. Yeah, like that does sound like very interesting, like in regards to the Scarlet Nexus. Okay. Let's buy the ninth magic bean from this dude. Yeah. Don't worry, I'll get 100 rupees in no time to buy the last one from you, and then I never have to deal with this again. It's a game where the two playable characters use psychokinesis to grab loose objects from the environment and launch them at enemies for bonus damage. Telekinesis, psychokinesis is pretty fun. When you can get like a game that makes good implementation of that. I can totally dig that. But yeah, it's like Wanted Dead's fun, and even though I've not gotten started on recording yet, I still load the game up on occasion just to kind of replay the game, just because like the weird eccentricities that it has combined with like the actual combat is so enjoyable. But that's like kind of rare moments in between like my actual current addiction, which has been Stranger of Paradise, which is now getting a Steam release next month, which I personally choose to think that like me talking and shilling about it to all like my friends on Discord, it was like a major part in contributing to it finally getting its fucking freedom from the shackles of the Epic Games Store. So all the recruitable characters are espers, but two have unique powers. And the one with legit hyperspeed as their power is a 30-year combat veteran and it has a chainsaw. Hell yeah. Hi, Tree Dad. Sorry you're dead. I need to go inside your corpse. I forgot something. Line this up. All right. Definitely hoping that, like, in the course of getting all these remaining gold Skullchillas, that I'll actually be able to get 100 rupees at the same time. Okay. There we go. Now we can actually leave the dungeon. We got everything we need. Yep, that's 36. Ah. What else is there to talk about? Unless we kind of mentioning a good amount of like the other games I have been playing outside of stream content. Oh yeah, I guess sort of slightly related to it. I have actually still been like ever since the Year of the Mecha episode where I did virtual on Ortario Tangram, I've still been messing around with like the with that game in all its different uh revisions. As you know, twin stick in hand, naturally, because it just doesn't feel right playing virtual on any other way. And I basically gone set in my head like a kind of short-term project like for like within the next couple years that I want to achieve. It's like, you know, like there are people out there that you know, they might go to the effort of building their own custom arcade stick, you know? You know, like some people will buy like high quality ones from like specific vendors, but others that like know a thing or two about like, you know, like soldering and woodworking, all that stuff to kind of build a thing, they might do their own stick. I, however, feel like because I already have an arcade stick that I can use with multiple consoles through adapters and it's still fine. But I want to make myself like a custom virtual on twin stick. That's what I really want to work towards. I don't exactly feel like trying to cannibalize any of the twin stick controllers I do have currently. So, I don't know. I might try looking for, you know, a controller that might be busted up and just exist for parts, because all I would really need are the sticks themselves with like the levers they're attached to. But that'd be like a fun project. Especially for like just the desire to experiment with it and try playing other games with it that aren't just virtual on, you know? Okay. There it is. It's number 38. Okay. Gotta head to the western side of Hyrule Field now, as well as Gerudo Valley. Huh. Oh, look at that, man. We're only like an hour and a half into this. Stream's still holding up. Yeah, I'm definitely thinking after like this set of like collecting what remaining things we can as a child. Once we get to the Temple of Time and become an adult, that's definitely where I'm going to call it quits for the stream tonight. That'll have been like a solid 2 hours, I think. Hold on, where's the... There should be like a rock circle. There it is. Okay. The fun of blowing yourself up repeatedly. That's certainly a definition of fun. You know what's also fun? Doing this. Yeah, Din's fire is just so fucking fun to use. There we go. That's number 39. Let's head over to Gerudo Valley itself. God, we're so close to 100 rupees as well. Could get that last fucking magic beans. I have a shift at work at less than 10 hours. I need to zonk out. Oh, man, sorry, but I have to deal with the 12-hour shifts. Fuck that. But yeah, get some rest, man. Thanks for sticking around. All right. Now then. Off to Lake Hylia we go. Yep, that is indeed 40. We're all good here. And of course, it doesn't transition you into Lake Hylia if you're holding a Kuko. Just a shame. That's quite the missed opportunity. Ow. Dickhead. Oh no. Damn it, it's gonna turn to daylight. Fuck! Nope, got it just in time. Nice. Ha. Okay. Just keep cutting at the grass, because that's what Link does best. ₹95. We're getting there. Yeah, okay. Next stop, we gotta make it to Kakariko Village. Or at least, like, just outside there, but I don't know. We're still gonna be going through there anyway, which means I can at least pick up on some new rewards for collecting this many Skulltula tokens. That should be good. Oh, man. So much rolling. And this is the biggest any of these overworlds ever really get. Like during like this period of Zelda. Because again, it got way larger than necessary when it came to like Twilight Princess, where it was like 9 of these separate ones just stitched together. Oh, that was a pretty quick detonation, I gotta say. Shit. There you are. Okay. Here we are back in the village. Let's go check on the house and see how many more of its like residents have become human again. Oh, it's bomb chews. Whatever, that's not important. I think the next one is more worthwhile. Yeah, the Giant's wallet. Now it can carry 500 rupees. Practically got a bank in our own pocket. All right. Okay. Southeast corner, I believe it is. So, yeah. Oh, I see it right out of the corner of my screen. Okay. Now, this last token that I need to get, it's all the way back in Dodongo's cavern. Should also probably switch over to the Hylian shield just to be safe. In case I do run into anything that I forget can cause fire damage. Cool. We got over 100 now. Oh, God. You know what it is, actually? I just fucking forgot that there was one neat little thing you could actually do in this game. Like, at particularly early enough on in the game that, like, most people wouldn't think to really bother with doing it that early, but it's still cool anyway. And it had to do with, like, the side quest for, like, the Happy Mask shop. Where you have to, like, where you take, like, the different masks that you have to find someone who's willing to buy it. And one thing I remember doing with that particular side quest is whenever I got to, like, any of the new masks that I needed to deliver, you know, like the Keaton mask, Spooky mask, or whatever the hell, just all that stuff, you know, you could wear it and talk to other NPCs and get interesting reactions from them about it. And I remember trying this, like, in a way because, like, you know, the princess, Zelda, you're able to, like, meet with her if you get to, like, her specific spot, obviously, but you know, we're at a part of the story where now that we've hit, like, the next stage of the critical path, she's gonna go away, and we won't be able to see her again in Hyrule Castle. But like, if you decided to get started on the quest early of, like, selling all the different masks, you could actually wear them and, like, talk to Zelda and, like, get interesting, unique dialogue from her about it. Like her comments about, I don't know, how cute or how weird it looks. And, like, that was always, like, a cool detail. And that for whatever reason, I don't think I ever recall people, or, like, I certainly don't remember seeing anyone I knew, like, talk about that. Okay. Wait, no, hold on. Oh, fuck. That was actually the wrong door, I realized. This is where I needed to go. Because, the big staircase that we had to bomb is now reset, or not? Oh, fuck. God damn it. I just realized what I did wrong. Ah, god damn it, I'm gonna have to leave the dungeon. Dick! Alright, we're going back in here. I remember exactly what it is I need to do, technically. What I need to do is ride up, like, that pillar that goes all the way to the second floor. God damn it. Oh, well. Okay, now then. What we need to do... Go this way. Back across the other... bridge. Get rid of these fucking fire keys. Oh, you... Ugh. There. Do this again. Step on the switch. There. Okay. Now, this might seem like something that wouldn't seem to work because it looks kind of fucky. But it does. As far as I can recall, I think this is the only way to actually get to this particular Skulltula. Like, blowing up the staircase kind of means that you miss out on it, and then you have to reset the dungeon by leaving and re-entering. Okay. There, we got it. So I think the last thing I'm gonna do... head back to Zora's domain quickly. Buy that last magic beans. Go to Hyrule Castle Town. Advance the plot. Draw the Master Sword. Become an adult. And from there, we will end tonight's stream. A solid sub 2 hours, I'd say, just for this part. We're almost done. We can finally take a break. And I can get everything set up for tomorrow morning's stream, where we return with Year of the Mecha for Gun Griffin 2. That should be a fun one. I've been contemplating, funny enough, like in the weeks leading up to it, whether I wanted to do like the whole stream of that with just the twin sticks, or play it with the Saturn pad. And I decided, screw it, I'll just do both. I think that's more than fine. Because I think with Gun Griffin in general, I've gotten used to how it specifically is meant to be played with, like, the Saturn pad. And the twin sticks are, like, a nice novelty, but I find it, like, weirdly harder to control that way, even if it is, like, it adds a bit more to the mecha piloting fantasy of it all. Okay, your last magic beans given to me. You fucking greedy bastard. Okay. Actually, no, hold on. I just realized something. Fuck. Just looking at the kind of the walkthrough I have on hand, kind of showing me the order in which to do things. It's funny. I was actually talking about like the Happy Mask Shop like side quest, and how like on previous playthroughs I would always like to do it earlier, just so I could like talk to certain NPCs that would disappear later on to get their reactions because they actually wrote dialogue for it. But as it turns out, no, that's actually like the next thing, like that we would need to do after getting the actual Ocarina of Time, as it were. So there's still a bit more to do as a child, but fucking, I'm tired. Let's just call it for today's stream. I mean, we all, at the very least, like, we got enough money to work with that, like, that it should be fine. Yep. Yeah, that's how much. We got like 44 of these gold skulltulas all destroyed. Hell yeah. And that's it. Okay. That was a fun one. Thanks for everyone that tuned in or maybe watching this after the fact on the archive. We'll continue with this on Monday, but not before going back to the wonderful world of mecha games tomorrow on Saturday. Have a good one. Take care.